So the release of the Jordan 4 Capestone just went down. Comment down below. Let me know if any of y'all picked these up today. When you talk about the Jordan 4, it's probably currently one of Jordan Brand's most popular retro models. Easy to wear, low profile, just simply looks good. And as far as this colorway, kind of like a muted gray. Perfect timing for this release. Very appropriate for the upcoming fall season. And when you talk about this release, you would think all of those factors would kind of come together to create an instant sellout. But it looks like the Capestones are actually sitting on shelves right now as we speak, which is cool because if you actually missed out, didn't know these were dropping, you can easily just grab these. You could probably walk into your local mall and just pick these up with no headaches involved. So why did resellers actually stay away from this release? Well, it's simply due to the fact that they've pretty much been getting these joints off for months now. That's pretty much the new game, as they like to sell these in advance for top dollar, you know, ahead of the actual drop when everybody's able to get their hands on these, and then we see the price fall. Now, we're not going to get into how resellers acquire these sneakers early. That's a whole nother topic for a whole different video. But when you talk about these Capestone 4s, I think these are dope, but as far as this release, there's more storylines involved. Like, it also leads into a bigger conversation of just the trajectory of the Jordan 4 overall. Some people would say Nike, Jordan Brand, they're starting to overdo it too much. Remember, something like the Jordan 1 where maybe they overdid it, dropped too many colorways to the fact that the consumer base just kind of got a little bit fatigued. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Jordan 4 releases that we saw actually happen this year, which as far as these drops, man, it's been a crazy year for the 4. Of course, we got, you know, heaters like the undefeated 4s, white cement 4s, the brick by bricks by Nigel Sylvester, SB 4s, plus let's not forget we got Black Cat 4s on the way. So a lot of great pairs dropped this year when you actually count them. Like, let's say we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10, 11 different pairs. We're not going to get into like kids pairs and everything. So about 11 pairs roughly here in 2025. I would say that's not too bad when you actually compare that to the amount of output that we saw in 2024. Look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It looks like they actually did drop, you know, roughly about the same amount, maybe a little bit less than what we saw drop in 2024, which, by the way, that was actually the 35th anniversary of the Jordan 4. So you would think that they would really go crazy, but as far as this year, it's kind of about the same. So when you talk about the fact that maybe they're overdoing the amount of actual releases, would I agree with that? I mean, probably yes, but then again, remember, they're in the business to make money, so they're going to try to put out as much product without kind of like overdoing it. So I think they've kind of found the sweet spot when you talk about Jordan 4 releases. But like, I'm not even gonna lie, when comparing like last year, White Thunders were a big hit. We had classics return, like the Military Blues. Do you guys remember all of the madness and hype around the Bread Reimagines? Like, there were some decent pairs which we saw drop last year, but I'm not even gonna lie, when we compare 2024 Jordan 4 releases to what we see here this year in 2025, like, I'm gonna just be real with y'all, like 2025 is clearing 2024 by a mile. I mean, you got classics like the White Cement 4s, Black Cats on the way, undefeated 4s, like grails like that, shoes like the Brick by Brick 4s, which people would call sneaker of the year. Like, 2025 is absolutely crushing 2024. So it's kind of easy to see where a sneaker like the Capestone 4s may have got overlooked for some of the other great Jordan 4s that released. I mean, look, bro, you even got the Rare Air 4s sitting this year. Like, that's a dope shoe. And even those got overshadowed by some of the other great pairs. Plus, let's not forget, coming up next week, Fire Red 5s are dropping as well. Some people may be saving their coins for that release, a return of an OG 5. And when you compare like even Jordan 4s to the Jordan 5 release that we saw this year, they dropped way more 5s than they actually dropped 4s this year, which does kind of make sense because it was the 35th anniversary of the 5s. But what I'm trying to say is that it may feel like, you know, the Jordan 4 is kind of heading into the same direction of the Jordan 1, which they're just dropping too many colorways, where we're starting to get like fatigued, tired of all the different releases. But low key, I feel like they're not overdoing it too bad. And when we talk about the like quality of the releases, there's not too much filler here. I mean, look, come on, y'all. The proof is in the pudding right here. Some dope pairs of Jordan 4s that we saw drop this year. Now, as far as these Capestone 4s, let's get back on subject here. This sneaker, as I mentioned, resellers, they've been getting these off for like months ahead of this release. It feels like they already dropped, you know, ahead of the drop, and they didn't even. So when you talk about this shoe, resale prices ain't looking too great right now, going under retail, which ain't bad, right? Like let's say you wanted to just grab these, you could go ahead and head over to StockX. But once you add up all those fees and all that good stuff, they're pretty much gonna be the same price as retail. So it's probably in your best interest to just purchase these from an official retailer. Like who wants to run the risk of like getting caught up with some type of shenanigans through StockX? You never know, you might get like a pair which has like bad quality control, like something like that could be tried on, or who knows, like worst case scenario, maybe even something fake from StockX, but that's just part of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's in your best interest to like actually just go to the local store, pick these up in person. You might be able to even try them on or something, or at least make sure that your pair, you know, is the best quality pair possible. Plus with this sneaker right here, when we talk about releases here for 2025, have y'all noticed that many of these Jordans have had the Nike Air on the back, even the undefeated 4s? I wonder if that's going to be a trend that we see continue heading into 2026, or is that just something to maybe like honor the 40th anniversary of Jordan Brand? We'll have to wait on that, but I honestly feel like whatever they got planned for 2026, the releases as far as Jordan 4s, they're not going to top what we saw here drop in 2025. So let's just appreciate the fact that this year was stacked with so many great drops. Not too much filler when we talk about Jordan 4s, so much that a pair like these Keystone 4s even happen to be overshadowed. Now, when you talk about resale, once again, with this shoe right here, I'm one of these people that I'm not out here buying up a whole bunch of pairs looking to resell, but after I rock my sneakers, you know, I like to flip them, you know, later ones down the line. So I guess you could say it's kind of cool when some of these shoes hold value. I look at it like, let's say I wear a sneaker for like 2-3 years and then I sell them and I get at least like half of the retail value of what I paid for them. I look at that as a win, like, right? So it's kind of cool to see that a lot of these sneakers do hold their value. And when you talk about these Keystone 4s, my belief is that this sneaker is going to be a huge seller for Jordan Brand. They dropped like 90,000 pairs of these today via the sneakers app, and while everything's not going to be an instant sellout, I still think this is going to be a popular shoe, one that many people gravitate towards, which will hold its value. So as far as the resale trajectory, my prediction hypothesis for this sneaker, I think it's actually going to probably be something that holds its value over time. I'm not saying there's anything you're going to be able to get rich off of. Well, who knows, it could go one or two ways. So here's my case study right here. So we got the Jordan 4 oxidized greens. We actually saw these drop last year. Good solid colorway, like they're not ugly, they're not doing too much. Now this is a shoe which after the drop, like these were just sitting. Jordan Brand dropped a whole bunch of pairs of these right here. They were selling for like, I think around like $150 or something like that, to the point now where they're pretty much up to retail, which means that this is a shoe which people may have like kind of went back on. We see the trajectory of the price actually continue to increase. That's why I like how StockX be having this little monitor thing down here. Where is it? Where you can see the price. Well, anyways, regardless, this is one. Oh yeah, here we go. So as y'all see, 169, and then a year later, you know, we're back up at retail. So this is a shoe which has held its value, even though it wasn't an instant sellout. It still held its value over time. Or you never know, things could go up into a whole more positive direction as far as the trajectory of this release. Because take, for example, something like these wet cements, another release which we saw drop last year. These were like, people calling them bricks when they first dropped. They were going for like what, probably just under retail or at retail price. I guess we can't see the trajectory here of all the sales. Oh, here we go. But as y'all see, you know, it continues to rise up to now the point where these joints were selling for like almost $400. So I think it could either go both of those ways. My guess though is that this pair was a little more exclusive when compared to something like the oxidized greens. And because they dropped so much stock of this sneaker, I don't really see these prices like go up too much, but I think it's a sneaker that holds its value. So just a little food for thought, you know, if you guys were considering purchasing these shoes, like if you were kind of on the fence, just remember you can get these off, rock them, and then in a couple of years just sell them, you know, get at least at like half of what you paid for, you know what I'm saying? So that's my take, you know, on the Jordan 4 Keystone. Again, I think this is an underrated release of the year. Something that the resellers kind of spoiled, I guess you could say. Like a lot of people passed on these just due to the fact they were going for undervalue already via the secondary market. But it doesn't take the fact away that it's a solid, good pair of Jordan 4s, perfect for the fall time. So you gotta love it. Nike Air on the back. So drop your thoughts on this model, JATV. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed.